Started when I was 16. Had no real intention of being a referee, to be honest. I'd played for academy teams at a young age. I played at Ossett Town Juniors, scored a lot of goals for Ossett. I was a reasonable player. I had a bit of arrogance, probably a lot of arrogance actually, as a young player. I thought I knew everything about the game. And I got challenged one week just by a local referee who we had every week, and he just said, well, you take the course and call me what you want. I never got a yellow card for dissent, which surprises me. But through a bit of ego, I thought, yeah, I'll take him on. I'll take the challenge. It was £15 for the course at Altoffs Cricket Club. None of it like the courses are now. So now, they're going out there, they're practical, they're on the pitch, they learn how to blow the whistle first of all, they learn how to manage situations in a game. There was none of that then. It was basically 8 weeks, 8 evenings, sitting in a room, learning the laws of the game, and then out you go to ref. So the courses now are far more suited for preparing referees to go out there. But yeah, I fell into it, as I said, by mistake. I brought Andy along, my brother, who really had no interest in coming and doing it, but thought, well, it's a qualification. And then I just sort of got the bug for it. I started under 11s game when we first won. And then I went straight into open age football in the Wakefield League, which probably helped. I was 6 foot at the time, so that helped me. But by going into open age, just getting exposed to that straight away, I think that really helped my development as a young referee as well. I think there's so much about refereeing to enjoy. A lot of it, if I look through my phone book now, most of my friends are referees. Some, of all ages, from everything from 70 to mid-20s. So first of all, I'd say that network, and that family might sound a bit cheesy, but it's true. That network of referees who've actually become friends. Being out there on a football pitch, there's no better place to be. If you're a football fan, and we all are, there's no better place to witness a football game than from the middle of the pitch. And if you're not able to play, either physically you're still not able to play again at whatever level, or you dreamed of playing as a professional but it never came off, I'd never say that refereeing is second best to playing, because it's a completely different aspect of the sport. It's a different skill set. But to be able to experience the game from that level, from pitch level, and again, I've been fortunate to see and work with some of the best players in the world as well. To be able to do that is, there is no better workplace, there's no better office than the middle of a football pitch. I think working and getting to that level and putting that Premier League badge on and putting the FIFA badge on and being able to go abroad and represent your country it was always the ultimate aim. I would never have got an international cap as a player. I'd never played in the Premier League as a player, but refereeing's enabled me to be able to do that. As I said, to go and work with some of the best players in the world in some of the best stadiums in the world. There's nothing better than that. There's nothing better than being able to do it. So the achievement for me personally was going out there and representing the other referees and the referees in this county, and to be able to walk out on cup finals and know that my friends and colleagues will be watching and willing me on to perform at my best, and hopefully have a decent game for that. I mean, Wembley's a special place. It's always going to be a special place. I've been fortunate to officiate there a number of times now. I think any time you walk out at Wembley, whether there's nobody in the stadium or 90,000 in the stadium, I haven't got many hairs, but it's a hairs on the back of your neck moment every time you do it. That place never gets boring. So I think any one of those moments, to be able to walk out a cup final or a playoff final, they're the moments that really, really stick with you. You don't remember much about the game, but those moments of actually walking out, looking around Wembley, seeing that amount of people there, and knowing that there's some top players and top referees who've never had that opportunity to do it. So again, that's quite humbling to think that you walk on the middle of the pitch and be able to referee those games. I probably have two in that sense. One, because of the amount of pressure that was on the game. So I think the Championship playoff final with Sheffield Wednesday and Hull City, 2 Yorkshire teams, so I knew quite a lot of people in the crowd. And financially, it's the biggest rewarded game in the world. So the pressure as a referee going into that, knowing that you don't want that kind of error, you don't want an error to affect that kind of game, the outcome of it. Thankfully the game went really well. Again, I don't remember much about the game, but it went very well. So to be entrusted with that kind of game is a huge honour. But genuinely the one that sticks out as well is refereeing the County Cup final, because it was one that I'd wanted to referee for years. I aimed to do it. You're only going to do it once. I wanted to represent, again, all the referees in the county. And it was Farsley Celtic against Tadcaster Albion. So I could look, and I mean, that's not exactly name dropping, and you're not looking at Man United's and Chelsea's, but to me that was a huge honour to be able to go out and work with my colleagues from the county and to be selected by the county to go and referee that game. Yeah, so currently I referee in League 1 and 2. It's quite well documented as to the reason that I did referee in the Premier League and on the FIFA list. And I've always fronted that. That's fine, referees make mistakes, and you make mistakes in personal life as well. But being given an opportunity to come back and referee in League 1 and 2 is an absolute honour. So this weekend I'll go to Ipswich Town to referee, and to me every game is a cup final anyway, whether that would be an international game or whether that would be an under-12s game. So it's irrelevant the teams or the stadium or the amount of people there. What's relevant is going out and performing the best you can, because to those teams it is their cup final in every game, so they deserve a referee who takes it that seriously, takes it that professionally, and goes and delivers the best performance that we can. There's so many coming through in terms that have influenced my career, from starting out in Heavy Woolen and in Wakefield, the likes of Chris Spur and David Fuller and John Byrne, the support from County FA. As I said, it's much better now than it ever was, but I've always felt supported by the County FA in that. So even my RDO at the time, Steve Rhodes, massive support that you would get from these. And going through the levels, it's not always, even as a FIFA referee, it's not always the support from another FIFA referee or one of the world's best refs that make you a better referee. You've got to be humble enough and just go back and say to people like Dave Fuller, who may never have refereed in the FIFA lists, but will have so much experience. He's got more experience in refereeing than I've been alive. So I think we can never be too scared to go and ask some of the guys who've been around. The referees associations were a massive influence on my career as a young ref. And I'm still really proud to go to speak at RAs and to go and attend RAs. So I think they're vital places to be able to go and listen to people who've worked within refereeing for 30, 40, 50 years sometimes. And if you can pick the experiences from those people, it doesn't have to be a Howard Webb to do that at all. I think certainly refereeing locally, and for newer referees getting into it, use those people, use that experience from the County FA, from Mark Haywood, from your RAs. And I think they're the ones who can really give you a solid foundation and hopefully move on from that. I think as a young referee, there's a lot of obstacles, obvious obstacles there. It's a tough workplace, refereeing. As much as it's the best office in the world, it can be the loneliest at times. And I think going out on your own as a young referee, the support networks that are there now from County FA are superb. Maybe they weren't there as much when I was a young referee, but now I think we have in place where the guys can go out there and really feel supported. But the challenges in refereeing, we can't hide that. It's a passionate sport, and it will have, effects, negative effects on people that are watching. Unfortunately, in the junior game, that has effects on parents, and you've got to manage that on your own. I'm fortunate I have 3 other colleagues that are with me on a pitch. I think for the referees who are going out who are young for the first time on their own on games, it can be a challenging and quite daunting experience. But as I said, the support networks are there. That can make sure they can get through those tough times. Because for every tough time I've had in refereeing, I can think of 100 good ones. So I think we've got to remember that sometimes. Every referee has gone home at every level, thrown their bag in the corner and gone, I'm never doing that again. I still do that occasionally now. So you've got to understand in that aspect that whilst it feels tough at that time, pick the boots back up, clean them up, get back out there the week after. And as I said, there's 100 good experiences for every negative one in refereeing. Absolutely do it. Do it. It's not the easiest thing, and it's not for everybody, and I think that's important to say. You probably do have to have a certain type of character to be able to go out there on a freezing cold December morning, on your own at times. As I said, can feel quite lonely, getting a bit of stick from players, but actually, why not have a go? You know, for young referees getting into it, financially the rewards are pretty good, and again, it'd be wrong to not comment on that. But I genuinely believe that there'll be somebody who watches this, who has the potential, who doesn't know it, who's never probably even thought about refereeing, who could referee in the Premier League, could referee the FA Cup final. Can't promise that to everybody because obviously there's not that many spaces to do it, but I were a council house lad from Wakefield who had no record of anybody refereeing in my family, and my brother and myself have both managed to get to that level through hard work, dedication, support of the county FA. So why not? If you want to stay in football, there's a genuine, career path. We've seen at the moment the Women's Super League and how much women's football is developing in this country. Females out there, it was probably just a male thing when I started refereeing, and that's only 20 years ago. I think now the young female referees could be looking and saying, I could genuinely referee at a high level, international level, if I've got that dedication to start. But you've got to turn up and you've got to take a course to do it. Nobody hands it to you, nobody gives it to you on a plate. Got to work hard for it, but the opportunities are definitely there.